Live from the City of Angels on this Thursday night from a very dreary Los Angeles. It's been raining for like 48 hours straight. So it's the perfect mood for tonight's stream. I'm going to be a little bit irascible, maybe even more so than I typically am, because I'm starting to lose faith in cinema. It's been a really rough patch for me over the past several days. You roll it back to Wonka last Thursday. Forgettable, too kind, but at least it was not offensively awful like many of the films I've had to sit through over the past several days. But it started with a Wonka that did zero for me. The following day, I saw Rebel Moon, which was another CGI soulless shit film. I'm tired of this. Tonight, I've got another one. It's Aquaman 2. In between those two films, I had to sit through Anyone But You. Those are four bad films. And yet, I sit here and talk about movies. And at some point, I have to say, maybe it's time to move on to something else, which I know makes a lot of people happy if I say that. But you start to lose hope when you're subjected to stuff that should never be made. Why? Why do we have Rebel Moon? Why is there an Aquaman 2? Aquaman 1 was not good. Can we make sure that is stated for the record? That film was interesting for about 45 minutes, and the other hour and like 45 minutes was interminable. I was like, my God. I was on the Warner Brothers lot watching that going, ooh, this is not what I want to watch. I don't understand why people think that these soulless, orgiastic CGI films is what constitutes quality cinema. I don't understand the mindset. Avatar 2, the same reaction I had watching this film. Aquaman 2. There is no connection from a soul level, right? From humanity to the screen. And I'm tired of getting nothing out of my movies. And the last four have really done it to me. But tonight, let's talk about Aquaman 2 before I get into a terrible rom-com in Anyone But You. I guess Gore said it was the best rom-com of the past decade, which is further proof. And I've said this before, I don't hate Chris Gore, but I will state for the record, number 2 here tonight, Chris Gore is an abysmal movie reviewer. He is truly terrible at it. Not as bad as Mendelsohn, and I like Mendelsohn, but Gore, for the audience he has on his channel versus what he actually brings in the evaluation space, it is so far out of whack. It is almost, it's a travesty is all I have to say. And tonight it's going to be a lot of that tonight because I'm really starting to question whether I want to stay in this space and do this anymore. I am raging against a machine that is getting more and more unbearable by the moment. And I say to myself, why am I even here? Why am I doing this? It is a very disappointing run of films, and I'm really just about done. I mean, it's that simple. But let's talk about Aquaman 2. As I just stated, I was not a fan of the first, so you can imagine my excitement level for number 2 very low. But as always, I always say this, and you guys need to listen up for those of you who think that I go into a movie waiting to savage it because I look forward to. I don't want to spend 2 hours. Today was 2.5 hours. I got there early and I sat through all the trailers, hung out, waiting for the movie. Then it's 2 hour long movie. I don't want to spend 2.5 hours of my life on a bad film. Why would you even think that I want to do that? Like, that's warped thinking. I don't want to go to a movie and dislike my time for 2 hours. But that's where we are here tonight. A film that we've seen so many times before, just like Rebel Moon, right? Formulaic. You know all the plot points. You know exactly where we're going. You know how it's going to finish. There's no real danger. Everyone is going to survive. Maybe someone doesn't, but really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Because nowadays we just resurrect them for another movie. So death isn't even the final chapter. But these films don't have any substance to them. They have nothing that I connect to. And I just wish that Hollywood would stop doing this shit. Who wants to see Avatar 3? How did you think Avatar 2 was good? That's garbage. It's garbage cinema. I can't stand Avatar or Avatar 2, especially 2. But I have to sit through a 3 and a 4? We need to stop making these movies. You guys need to stop supporting these films. Stop supporting this shit. Don't go spend money on Avatar. Do better. Ask for better in life, man. Stop making me sit through this shit. I'm tired of it, man. And yet I have to go on here after 2 hours of this. I have to go and click on the hashtag. By the way, this is me at the movie. If you didn't say, this is me. This is the coma I was in. I mean, this film does nothing but put you into this sleep. Thank God there was no one in the theater. I had an extra recliner that I went sideways on. You guys know what I'm talking about? The AMC recliners are amazing. I had 2 of them, rolled the other one back, and I leaned in sideways, had my head on the rest, and I was kind of dozing off at points because the movie's that boring. But then afterwards, this is where I lose my right. This is where I absolutely go bonkers. Okay. When I read, and I've brought this person up before. By the way, can I say something? People come after me all the time, right? You know that. And they say, oh, this guy, you're a terrible person. You are the worst. And I go, what's wrong with you? There's something wrong. If I'm going to attack someone, it's on the points of the review. It's not on, oh, that guy's so annoying. It's, your review sucks. Gore, you're a terrible critic. You and Mendelssohn's slightly worse, even though I like Scott. I've said it before, but as a critic, he's very bad. And Gore is truly terrible. He's not good at it. I'm sorry. And I'm going to say it again, and I don't care because tonight I'm just going to do whatever I want to do like I always do. And that's probably why the channel is what it is, and I don't give a shit. So who cares, right? If Gore didn't drink 16 Trulies before he watched a movie, maybe he'd have a different opinion. You guys help me out in the comments. If you've had 4 drinks before a movie starts, are you going to be more amenable to what you're about to see? Is that going to alter your view of the film? Of course it is. So why don't you, from now on, Gore, when you review a movie, why don't you say I had 4 Trulies before and this is how many Trulies the movie is? It is this many sparkling alcoholic ciders. And I'm the bad guy. I just can't anymore, as you can tell. But you guys ready for what I had to read? This is where I go, I can't. I don't want to do this anymore. I think it's over. Which I know makes a lot of you happy. This is Griffin Schiller. I know I've talked to Griffin. We've hung out a few times. I've got to say that I have never seen someone who misses so. I mean, we're talking about a whiff, and the bat flies into the crowd and kills a kid. That's how bad this evaluation of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is. Okay. I mean, get the kid in the ambulance because, I mean, I know that's dark. I get it. It is what it is, man. It's an explosive, vibrant, swashbuckling, quintessential Aquaman story. I'm sorry, is there any Aquaman story that's quintessential? Even if you had the perfect Aquaman story, would it be, quote, quintessential? No. So clearly this can't be, but it is ripped straight out of the comics. A sequel that goes bigger, which is, by the way, not a good thing. The first one was way too, the back end of that movie was disastrously CGI numbing crap. And this gets bigger. That's not good, Griffin, okay? A bit messier. Who cares at this point? It has no soul. Yet, it has the heart? Other than, I do like Jason Momoa, but even here, he's like, give me the paycheck, right? The only thing I can recommend about Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom, the only single element is his sequined costume. The orange is badass. If I found a football kit like that, I would wear it. Someone needs to kit design a sheeny orange kit like he has on in this movie. Fatherhood, brotherhood, leadership, whatever. That's what you think you saw. So bad. So forgettable. Why do these people think this is good? I know you're going to come after me for Ant-Man 3. But here's the thing. Can we roll this back? Before we do this, can we roll it back? Because I need to point out something to you that's very important. CBMs are dead. 2008 to 2023. Comic book movies, rest in peace. And as the year progressed in 2023, and we kept, for a lot of you, it started with Ant-Man 3. But think about where we went. Shazam 2, right? We had Blue Beetle this year. Ooh. We had the Marvels. Going before that, Black Panther 2. Not a good film. So slowly we have eroded whatever goodwill there was left over from Endgame. Comic book movies will never regain the interest of the movie-going population like they did when they peaked with Endgame and then No Way Home, because they still had the shine. And yes, No Way Home is a good film. It'll never happen again. Maybe with Spider-Man a little bit, right? Because Spider-Man's now the king. But with good luck to James Gunn and Superman. I don't even care about seeing another comic movie. I don't want to ever sit through another run-of-the-mill, soulless shit CBM in my life. I only want to watch any kind of, quote, comic book adaptation that is weird, that is trying something different, but also lands it like a Joker, even if it is an amalgamation. Certainly, don't make me say it again. We know what films. But at least when I watch that, I'm like, this is different. When I watch Matt Reeves' Batman, it's grounded. That's what I want to watch. I don't want to watch this shit from James Wan. This is a waste of money. That's the other thing that I say here tonight as I talk about movies and we do all these things. We have all these problems in the world, and we have a studio spending over $100 million on this film. It had to be at least 150 reshoots and all that. What a waste of cash. Think about, and I know this is like, you guys are going to go ape shit when I say stuff like this, but it's true because I actually start to think this way. When I watch the movie, I'm like, think about what could have been done with this money. Anything better than to make Aquaman 2 or Blue Beetle or The Marvels. Any of these films, Shazam 2. These films are a waste of cash. It's doing a disservice to planet Earth. We need to look at it more of like a global warming crisis, which is what this movie is. It's actually Aquaman and the global warming crisis. That's what the movie really is. For those of you that really want to check it out, be ready. But we need to treat it like this is a crisis. We need to raise awareness for the crisis that we are in, which is shitty films getting made repeatedly, and we're being subjected to garbage. And I'll tell you what, right now, the Christmas corridor is wrecked, because here's the reality. There is going to be nothing good out. We're going to talk about Anyone for You, whatever it's called, this stupid-ass rom-com. I'm sorry, my bad, everybody. The best rom-com in the past decade, according to the guy who drank 10 Trulies before the movie started. The best rom-com in the past decade if you drank 10 Trulies. That's what it is. And you know it's true, Gore, so eat it, bro. You know I'm right. You know I'm damn well right. I'll roast the shit out of you every day because it's bad. You're terrible at this. God almighty. It's true. Listen, I have some things going on, no question, but I'm good at what I do. I'm really good at evaluations. I'm sorry. That's the reality of it. and by the way, people are coming in telling me Poor Things is terrible. I knew it's coming, baby. It's coming because you're all going to get to see it. Poor Things is coming out like this weekend, or is it Christmas Day for those? Oh, go unwrap that present. You'll be back here going, that guy, Weber, there he goes. Ascension, finally. Weber finally gets the respect that he deserves because he called a shitty film exactly what it is. Actually, it's unwatchable. I hate it. Are we off to a good start here tonight? Sorry, guys. I am just at the point where I am about ready to just pull the plug. In fact, I might just do it in the middle of the stream. Just go, whoop, it's out. I'm done. That's the end. I need a break. I think at this point, let's talk about Anyone But You, because now I'm going to savage yet another film back. So this is 4 forgettable at best films, starting with Wonka, Rebel Moon, Anyone But You, and now Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. This is a really brutalizing stretch of films for me. And this film, I'm sorry, the best rom-com of the past decade, after imbibing on 95% of the bar. It's true. Dude, always drink. I don't listen. You know what I drink? You guys know what I drink. Hey, everybody, it's a spot. No, it's not. Clear American, the best sparkling water you can buy, available only at Walmart. And I'm not even kidding you. I drink like 7 of these a day, but there's no alcohol and no calories. That's how I keep my figure trim. Speaking of trim, everybody in this movie looks great. Okay, anybody but you, anyone but you, and anybody. You've got Sydney Sweeney. In this movie, as I said in my reaction video, if you could sum up this film, this rom-com that has, some things going for it, 2 big things. This film has 2 very substantial things going for it. Oh, they're going to come for me now. Oh, it's true. There are 2 very... Okay, so here's the reality. This film is Sydney Sweeney. How quickly can we get you into a low-cut dress or bikini? That is this film. That is... The producers are like, how quickly can we get her to get her in the low-cut thing? Boom. That's it. The movie's on. It's within minutes, okay? And then you have... who I like. Glenn Powell is just like, he's a good-looking dude. He's just suave. I think he plays the same guy in every movie, but so does George Clooney. So does every actor, except for, Johnny Depp's weird, for sure. You look at Anthony Hopkins can do some crazy shit. There's plenty, Daniel Day-Lewis and De Niro, but even De Niro. But when you look at Glenn Powell, he's a great-looking kid, and we want to get him shirtless, so of course we get that. But here's the story. The 2 of them, of course, we've seen this in every rom-com. The 2 of them really don't like one another, but they do, right? It's that, eventually going to end up together. But the thing is, what happens to make them dislike each other isn't at the level that it's needed to be to have the animosity they have months later when they come across each other again. I'm like, would they really hate each other that much for what happened? It's not like he cheated on her with her best friend or she slept with his best friend. It's like she overheard him say, oh, she means nothing to me. I'm like, that's not that. I mean, it's not great, but it's also not like, you did my friend. But anyhow, getting back to the screenplay, because it's one of the best screenplays and certainly one of the best rom-coms of the past decade. When you look at this film, we have the 2 of them ending up in Australia because her sister's getting married, and it's Hollywood, so of course she's getting married to another woman. Don't. Not doing it. We're not doing it, guys. Not going to do it. I'm just pointing out that that's what it is. And so there they go to Australia. And in the meantime, they have to follow this, please. The 2 of them have to convince everyone at the party that they're together because Sydney Sweeney's old boyfriend gets flown in by her parents, and she doesn't want to hook up with him because she doesn't want to hang out with him. And he sees his old girlfriend who's Australian. So the 2 of them put on an act that they're together so that they don't have to hook up with their old flames. But in the meantime, their old flames are one's banging a surfer guy and the other guy's this kind of beta bitch guy. In movie, the screenplay, and I looked at who wrote this, it didn't have a lot of credits. This is the kind of screenplay, when you read it, you go, man, God, I need to start writing more because I can clearly get a movie made because this is what constitutes a comedy. My bad, everybody. I keep doing it and I'm really apologizing. Please listen to me. The best comedy of the past decade, the best rom-com, hilarious, especially after you've had 17 drinks. It's even better. Oh my God. So here's what we have going for it. I can't believe I've talked about this film for how many minutes now. This is way too many. I've talked about this more than Aquaman because at least with this, I laughed at how bad it was because you look at the chemistry that's there, the likability of Sweeney and Powell, yes, and they both look fantastic shirtless. Well, you know, Sweeney low cut. And then you go to the screenplay, which is terrible. My God. Whoever wrote this, don't ever write again. No, it's really bad. You have a line that says, easy breezy Martin Scorsese. I'm like, what? What was that line? Did you just, I go, oh, me in the back of the theater going, oh. And then you got jokes that don't land, or I'm sorry, sort of land for my audience that was like a regular movie-going audience. Remember, I know I've said this before, and this is going to be another hammer job. I'm sorry. When I see films like Avatar 2 succeed at $2 billion, when I see people laugh at anyone but you, like at the jokes that aren't funny, like, a movie, you asked me, what's a movie that's recent that's funny? God, I gotta go back to like Tropic Thunder. There's occasionally a film, but not a lot. People are laughing at jokes, and I'm like, wow, you have a low bar. We have a very low bar in this universe that what constitutes quality, right? Or laugh, or, you know, going back to Aquaman 2, this is a great film. Avatar 2 is a great, what? And then we look at this film and people are laughing in my audience. I'm like, why are you guys laughing? What's so funny? I think people don't really know what's funny anymore, right? Because we are not allowed to say certain things. Oh, Weber's going to get canceled because he said there's two good things about any. Screw you guys. And good luck. I give a shit. Screw all of y'all. Not you, but the other people, the angry, raging beta bitches. Listen, here's here's the reality. When we have a film like this, people laughing at jokes that aren't funny, I lose faith in humanity. I have lost my faith across the board in film. It's been a very bad several days for me. This is a 50%, and I would put Aquaman at about 50%. I didn't even want to put up an evaluation. I just wanted to bemoan the fact I had to sit through Aquaman 2. This film is not funny. Tell Gore he's dead wrong, and he's not good at this. Okay? Will someone please do that for me? Tell him to go after me on what's he going to say? What's he going to say? That's the thing. What's he going to say? He's going to say, oh, he can't say I'm not good, so he can't use that. So what's he going to say? Oh, is he shirtless? That's not, what is that, a crack? Is that a crack? I'm sorry. Me being shirtless? I'm sorry. How is that? Oh, that's right, because you're not, because you don't go to the gym. Oh, that's my bad. I apologize, Gore. I should feel bad for making you insecure because you drink more than you go to the gym. I should say drink all the time, don't go to the gym. That's a me problem. No, it's a you problem, dude. Whatever. Don't care. Tropic Thunder's amazing. We don't get comedies like that anymore. You know, we just don't. I should write a movie. You know what? I might write that movie. You know, the funny thing is, we could all group write a film called 17 Trulies, and it would be better than anything for you. But with you. It would be much better. Exactly. You'd rather watch me jumping in the gym. Oh my God, guys. We're only 20 minutes. I don't think I'm going to make an hour tonight. I'm really cantankerous. I'm frankly depressed the state of film. I love movie theaters, but I've been screwed over. There is one film that I really should be spending time talking about. Let's just do that right now. I have not discussed a film that's out this weekend. And if you're talking, I just mentioned all the crappy films, right? You don't go see any of those. Don't even bother, okay? You know what you need to see. You need to see The Iron Claw. The Iron Claw is one of the best films of the year. I've seen it twice now. And we talked when I came out of the theater. This has been over a month ago that I saw this film. The first thing that I identified with this film is it is an ideal match of director to screenplay to story because of the fact the way Durkin makes his films. He's very Bennett Millery, and that's why this film reminded me so much of Foxcatcher. Not because they're both wrestling, amateur, professional, but the feel, tone. I really wish if I would have gone, I got invited to events all this year. I went to like none because I'm kind of over all this shit. But I would have gone, and I should have gone. There was an Iron Claw event because I wanted to talk to Durkin about, just ask him, because I know that if I asked him Foxcatcher, he'd be like, Firestarter. Foxcatcher, he would say, yeah. And then they'd be like, how'd you know? Because you can see it. I mean, it's just like that time I told you that I saw Lorraine, who directed Hustlers. When I got out of that film, I saw her at an event, and I said, hey, the opening of this film is patterned off of Place Beyond the Pines. And she said, how'd you know that? I said, because you can see it. And that's the thing is when you've done this long enough, you've seen enough films, you know how the influences. It's very clear it's Foxcatcher, but let's continue along that line. That's the tone this film needs to be. It's a tragedy. It's the Von Erich tragedy, right? Pro wrestling. I grew up watching world-class pro wrestling out of Dallas, Texas, the Sportatorium, and it was on ESPN, and we all watched the Von Erichs, right? Especially Kevin and Kerry. I think David died right before I started getting into pro wrestling. So I heard the stories about David, but I didn't, see him. I saw Kevin. I definitely saw Kerry, and we saw Kerry go into the WWF as a Texas Tornado. And then what's amazing about that whole thing is that you see in this film, he loses his foot from that motorcycle crash. And they do a pretty good job of that here, identifying that. I think the film does feel a little compressed because you're trying to get so much time into this tragedy. So it feels like it all happened like in one, week or two. It feels really tight. It needed to be a little longer in the way it was set up. But it's not enough for me not to say this is one of the best films of the year. It ultimately, when I was looking forward to the films of 2023, Iron Claw was definitely in my top 5, and it delivered. And that is rare, that you have anticipation for a film like me for the next Rose Glass film, the one that's going to be at, what's it called here, coming up here in a few weeks at Sundance. I can't wait to see that because I love, as you guys know, I think St. Maud's the best film of 2021. I love the filmmaking for a debut. It's just an absolute KO. But rarely do you have a film that delivers what you expect and what you want, what you hope for out of the film. And that was the case with the Iron Claw. And then you have Zac Efron, certainly his best performance. I mean, it's right up there with Firestarter. I mean, it's close. If you were to ask me if he's better in the Iron Claw or Firestarter, I mean, the scene where he misgenders a cat, that's close. I saw Firestarter like 6 times. I loved the ridiculous crap nature of that film. That film was absolute garbage, but it was entertaining garbage. We all have those films. I saw it, I think, 6 times in theaters. Do not judge me, ever. And but I'll tell you, when you watch The Iron Claw, you see Zac Efron really landing the role of Kevin Von Erich. I think the weakest of all of them is Kerry, and that is the kid from The Bear, White. He is okay. It's not a detriment to the film. I think the big problem when I look at White as Kerry Von Erich is he's very short, okay? And thank you, Bruce. I really appreciate that. He's short, and Kerry Von Erich is 6'4". He was a big dude. He was the modern day warrior, right? Came out to Rush, which is in the movie. But he doesn't have the physical stature, and we talk about this a lot. When you go back and look at a Black Adam, one of the reasons that film even worked at all, and I'm not saying it was great by any means, but I certainly like Black Adam more than I did Aquaman 2, is You have The Rock as that comic book character, larger than life persona. Physically, he's the guy. You don't have the Zach Levi wearing the foam rubber, delts. That shit just takes you out. So when you need to be the physical presence of a Kerry Von Erich, he's not tall enough. He's little. And he looks it with the hair and all, but when he walks in the house, he's so short that you have the dad, Fritz Von Erich, the actor, I don't think I haven't seen him in anything before. He's very good here, but he's tall, and you got White coming in. And he's this little dude, and it's like Kerry should have been bigger. So I think that's a miss. I think the role doesn't have a whole lot going on. But Zac Efron, and the one who really stands out is the kid from Triangle of Sadness. He's very good. He plays David Von Erich, and he dies early, unfortunately, because he's so great, and then all of a sudden he's gone. So I think the film, I wish that his character lasted longer in the movie. But that said, Zac Efron's strong enough to carry you through, and it's everything I wanted out of the film. It's the best film this year to see for the holiday quarter, Christmas quarter. There's no question. None whatsoever. I have not seen Ferrari. I will see it over the break, but I need a break. I need a break from film. Even Ferrari, even Color Purple. I might take a lot of time off. I might not do a stream. I'm not going to do a stream Christmas Eve, more than likely. Maybe Christmas night. Depends on how I feel. I mean, right now, I just need a little bit of a siesta from film. I don't want to really think about film. I started to watch Migration the other day. They sent me the link. I started watching it, and I go, I'm not in the mood. And I turned it off. It looked like it was nice intro to it, had good pep and step, and it was lively, all these things, but I just was like, it wasn't the right time. I feel like now I just am not in the right space to watch some of these movies, but it doesn't help. I mean, listen, I was ready for Aquaman 2 as best I can. The movie's just incredibly dull. I don't want to watch that kind of cinema anymore. I don't want to watch these CGI orgiastic films. It doesn't do anything for me. There's no connection to the film. There's no connection to the screen. And I just say to myself, I don't want to start hating going to the movies because I'm going to see things I don't want to see, like anyone but you. Best rom-com of the past 10 years, but still, for me, it was painful, but it is the best rom-com of the past 10 years. All the Women Want White? Yeah, maybe. But he just is too short, right? Maybe it was 5 times. I'm sorry. He's too. You guys know what I'm saying. He doesn't have the physical presence, right? I go back to Ryan Gosling, and you look at what he did physically transforming his body in Drive, is where you start to see him really start to fill out and physically handle that, the presence when he's there. He's like, that guy's a badass. And then you go on and you look at him now. I just saw the trailer for Fall Guy, which actually looks really fun. I love Leach. I think he directs a really strong action film. I'm looking forward to Fall Guy. I think it's gonna be fun. Okay, is it gonna be like a memorable film? Hell no. But I like Ryan Gosling. I like Leach. I will enjoy that film, I bet. But look at him. He buffed himself up. He looks great. Obviously, you saw him in Barbie, Ken. He looks good. You need that. It's very important when you're playing a role to physically embody the role. And if you don't, you're going to suffer. Go back to a film that I talked about, years and years ago. I told you my story of interviewing the kid from Breaking Bad, Aaron Paul, when he did Need for Speed. And Aaron Paul's a little guy. He's not even buff. He's just a little dude. And you're having him playing this like car driver badass wearing the jackets looking like a stud, and he doesn't physically fit the role. You have to be able to physically embody the role. It's it sounds so basic, but that's why I'm riding White on him not being Kerry Von Erich. If I'm Durkin, even if he wants to get involved, I would have actually put him in Mike, right? Mike's the younger artistic one. I put him in Mike, even though the kid who plays Mike's great. I wouldn't switch that. So I don't know if I have a spot for White. I think I would probably just be like, you're not in this, because I have to nail that physically. Do you guys know what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm talking about? And I know, like, but here's the reality of Hollywood. Even if I wanted to do that, the studio in A24 here, and this is a great comment because I agree, Johnny, 100%, and I'll get to that. By the way, I'm going to get some super comments. I see a whole bunch of them there. I appreciate that. I'm going to get to them. Is that when you look at setting a film up financially, you have to have certain players in order to get the financing. So I remember talking to a producer at a party a couple years ago, talking about, and it was a big producer, And that's what I love going to the parties for, not to hang out with the stars. They don't, whatever. I like talking to the cinematographers, the composers. I remember talking to Ludwig Göransson, amazing. After the Black Panther party, we went there and I talked to him for a long time. I was like, dude, I knew that guy was coming with some heat, and we had obviously Tenet, and we have Oppenheimer. He's the best in the game. But when you look at setting a film up, this producer was telling me, you bring names together, right? So if you get a Joaquin Phoenix, boom, there's 10 million. If you get a Ryan Gosling, boom, there's 25 million. If you get a Blunt and Ryan Gosling, you've got 35 million, right? So every star brings more to the budget because, look, I've got Brad Pitt, 50 million. No, who knows? Maybe it's not 50, but it's a lot. Okay, so the bigger the star, like back in the day, Julia Roberts, if you can attach a star, and in this case, White is an up-and-coming star, so you're going to want to attach him to the film so that you can get those younger crowd, the one that watched The Bear, that the women all love the dude, you're going to get that audience to come see Iron Claw. But to A24's point, this is a very good comment. It's always the case. Listen, I mean, I've hammered A24 films in the past, but there is no studio/distributor in this town that makes more interesting artistic value to their cinema. None. There's not even anyone close. Neon would be second, but it's A24 number one. I would rather watch an A24 film any day of the week. Even if I don't like it, I'd rather watch the A24 film than virtually any other studio. I think Focus is another for me. Neon is a hit or miss proposition. This year I think back to Neon, and I think to How to Blow Up a Pipeline. Really cool film. Neon, when it's on, it's on. When it's off, it's just off a little too much for me. A24, when they're on, we all know. We're talking about things like After Sun, Saint Maud, just recently going back to films that I love, like End of the Tour. It's one of my favorite films of the past decade. Those are the films I love. I always bring up End of the Tour, because I love deep thinking, almost spiritual films, and that's what that is. When you watch End of the Tour, you've got Eisenberg and you've got Siegel and their relationship that they build in this super grounded film and based on a true story. I just adore the End of the Tour. I can watch that anytime, any day, because it gets to a character that I feel a soul connection to, not this CGI garbage that is soulless and has zero nutritional value for me. I don't get anything from that. And you guys understand, right? I mean, you guys get it. You guys watch it. That's why, what makes good film. It's why you're here. I think ultimately, Galia, thank you. It's just too much. It'd make it a lot easier for me because I would trust someone to come in here and just push the buttons and I don't have to worry about it. They should have left Aquaman 2. Just let it drown. Goodbye. They should have backrolled it, right? Ultimately, they should have backrolled this film. But we love films and we want to be moved. And I want to come on here and tell you to go watch a film because you guys know that if I'm going to tell you to watch it, I fully believe in it, even if it's Ant-Man 3 for what it is. But End of the Tour is if you have not watched End of the Tour tonight, if you're hanging out, you got Christmas, instead of going to the multiplex, unless you've seen Iron Claw, if you can go see that. But everything else, leave it alone. Stay home and watch the End of the Tour sometime over the next few days. Come back next time we do this, and you're going to come and go, that's a good film. That's really strong. Thank you, Information Manager. I don't know what I said because this is like forever ago. But I imagine probably me. I hate bad movies, but listen, I don't, man. I don't want to, but I definitely get moody. That's just the reality of it. I tell you, I came out of Aquaman 2 and I was walking to the bathroom and I was like half awake. It was the beginning of the movie. I came out of Aquaman 2 and I was walking out of the Dolby Theater at Burbank like this. And there's this young kid with his friend, younger than me. And they were going to see a new Indian film this weekend. I'm not sure I forget the name of it. And I promise I will look into it. But he was like, hey, you're the guy. He was really nice. And so that I was like, oh my God, I was half awake. So for that gentleman, if I was out of it, I was not 17 Trulies in. That's what we do better than anything. We bring the callback out of nowhere. That's what a callback is, to bring it out of nowhere. Rebel Moon is not good. Thank you, John. Rebel Moon was such a waste of time and money, just like Aquaman 2. They have the same thing in common. Stories we've seen so many times before, soulless CGI, stilted performances. Like someone said Rebel Moon had like the lead is good. What? How is she interesting? She doesn't do anything. She plays like the only thing she looks good like with shirt I was in shirtless again with Sydney Sweeney. She looks good with her sleeveless because she's like jacked. She looks good. She's like a modern day Linda Hamilton, but she's not interesting. But she looks good. That's true. It is Griffin Schiller. No, Griffin's listen. Listen. I'm not the guy like these other people. Like, okay, can I say something that happened in this? This is crazy. I want to explain this. This is really wild. For whatever reason, there's something about what I do that makes some people lose their mind. Okay, I was looking through comments. Sometimes you Google yourself. I just said I was just bored. I go, let me Google myself and see. So I was on to some website. I don't know what, some movie, whatever bullshit. And there was the comment section, and it came up, and it was something about me. I don't want to get into what it said, but it was so specific and so personal that I was like, who are you? Like, who in their right mind does that? Gore and I have a relationship, and I'm making fun of the fact that he drinks. He's not good at critiquing. This was like, this guy was divorced, and I'm like, wait a second, what? What are we doing here? Why are people so fucking weird? Why are they so triggered? Why are they so butthurt if I trash a film or I'm a loudmouth? Here's the solution. You do something. Don't worry about me. I'm making fun of Gore. I'm, of course, making fun of Schiller tonight because the reviews, it's not that. It's not that at all. But I didn't say Griffin Schiller has no girlfriend and he's balding, and he's these why do people, this is weird. It's really weird how people do that. I don't know what the deal is, but I can promise you this, those people are, I might be miserable at times and pretend to be. They are truly miserable. You guys know what I do. I come on here and rage, and then I turn around tomorrow. Where will I be? At the gym, murdering the weights. That's what happens. Because the reality is I use, one more time for this, for everybody, like that comment, actually, I want to thank whoever wrote that, the very personal attack bullshit comment that I read the other day. You know what you do? You do this. Every time I bring this, I'm bringing it again. This is what you do. You make me go to the gym and destroy shit and own your pathetic beta ass bitch. Every fucking day I own you. I own your ass, and for that, that's what I do. Tomorrow I'm going to do it again. So bring it, keep bringing it, because all you do is fuel me to destroy you over and over, and ultimately I don't hide behind an avatar because that is the avatar. So suck it. That's what I got to say to you. Not you guys. You guys are amazing. But do you see what I'm saying? You take what people give you and you use it as fuel for you. And you do this. You don't sit at home and be a little bitch with an anonymous account whining about stuff. I love it. Bring it. Roll up, because you fuel me. You fuel me, and I love it. Thank you, Bruce. But you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, the reality is there's two ways to approach that. You can read something, someone comes after you and says, you're such a, and you go, oh, that's not me. Here's what happens. You come after me, you cede my power. You give it to me. You plant the seed for me to use to go in and dominate, and to look in the rearview mirror at wherever your pathetic little ass is, somewhere way, I mean, like, not even in the mirror. You're not even in the mirror. You're not even playing in the same game, because you don't know what it's like to get out there in the middle of this shit and wage war every day. I do it every day. I don't need, you can see it. I don't need to even talk about it. It's here. But I love it. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it when people do. Thank you, Byron. I really do appreciate it when people come after me, because all you do is give me fuel. I love it. Bring it every day. I'm going to murder the jump boxes. That's true. I could. I want to say this too. I mean this. I'm at the point now with the movies. I'm going to talk about movies, but I think at some point I'm going to do a pivot. I'm going to pivot into the fitness space and do a little more in that area because here's the reality. Anyone can get on this mic and talk about movies. I get on YouTube sometimes and I look around and I look at how many people have channels. I go, holy crap, that's a lot of people talking about movies. And let's be real. Not a lot of them are very good. I mean, that's the truth, right? The one thing no one ever comes in and says, never, because they can't. They'd be lying. He's not good. He sucks. Like, watch the show and it's like, but I don't know what I've done and I don't know how to do, right? Then you'd be like, this is bad. They don't have that. Here's what the reality is. I've said it before. The reason the haters hate so much is because they look for a way to attack and they go, I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do. He's not bald. He's not fat. He's not young, but he's also looks pretty good for his age. He isn't bad at what he does. Fuck. What is it? I got it. What is it? He's an asshole. That's not good enough. But that's all they have, right? Because they don't have anything else to work with. Because typically we know this, right? Typically when someone goes after someone, they're like, what's the first thing? Look at you, you're a doughboy. Look at you, bald boy. Look at you, whatever it is, shorty guy, right? By the way, I wasn't hammering White because he's short. I was saying he's not right for Kerry Von Erich because Kerry Von Erich was 6'4". You guys see the difference. No, he didn't. What? What? Listen, I'm only going to say this. I'm going to make it simple. SS, by the way, welcome back. He can call me out all he wants. He is a terrible film critic. I mean, he can't say that about me. He can say, go for it. What's he going to say? He can't say that. He is, and he's also someone who drinks in front of every movie. That's truth. That's just the reality of it. Ask him that. He's gonna if he says he doesn't get drunk before every movie, he's lying to you. Here's a question: do you think 3 or 4 Trulies is a lot of drinks? Yes or no? Answer the question. Not you, SSR. Well, I don't know. Maybe he is. He definitely. I can promise you this. Gore definitely got into the Warner Brothers screen. I'm at the point now where I don't get invited to anything. Universal's the only studio. I've told this to you before. Universal's cool. I've got people like Rose Marie Bryant saying, "Oh, let's take away his access." Go for it, Rose. I don't give a shit. Do you realize that you're not doing anything? You don't mean anything to me. You have other things to focus on. Don't worry about me. But that's the thing is at this point, the studios don't want to invite me because there's a very good chance I'm going to flame the thing down. I would burn it down. If I came out of Aquaman 2, I'd send the exact same tweet I sent earlier with me asleep. And Warner Bros. Like, forget it. Don't bring him back. Fine. I don't care, Warner Bros. I don't care about you, Warner Brothers. I don't care about any of these studios. Why do I care? I don't care about Hollywood. I care about watching a good movie. I don't want to suck up to any of these people. They mean nothing to me. I don't give a shit. Why do I care? I don't need validation from a studio. I don't need validation from anybody. You're your own validation. You are the validation. You don't need to have validation from anybody. Nobody. Don't ever worry about it. You take care of yourself. Well, that's just, so what? Let them. Exactly. And the truth is, this is true. I listen, guys, there's a lot of things I think you can tell by watching this channel and in the way that I operate my life. I am a truth seeker and I am authentic and I am a 1,000,000% no bullshit guy. And when you are that person, you are not going to work in Hollywood. You're not going to work with that system. You're going to be terrible. I mean, how many other critics savaged Poor Things the way that I did? None, zero, not one, not even one. How many of them savage Beau is Afraid like me? Not one, not even one. How many of them savage Scream 6? On and on, name a movie. They don't, because you know why? Because Hollywood pulls their strings. Hollywood's like, well, if you're going to hammer my movie, you won't come to our next one. And I'm like, I don't care. That's the thing. I don't care. You know the best thing about not going to the critic screening? I don't have to see half these critics. They're terrible. The majority of critics are so bad at this. It is laughable bad. And yet, so why would I want to hang? I don't want to be near these people. I don't want to be around them. You should hear some of the conversations. This pretentious bullshit conversation about the merits of Poor Things. I go, that's it. I can't. You guys aren't even, you're not real people. Some of these people are legitimately not even real. I look at a Scott Oh, what's his ass from Access Hollywood? Mance. Scott Mance is not a real person. Scott Mance is he's like, hey guys, what's going on? Blah, blah. You know, that kind of thing. You know, you meet somebody and they're not real. I'm fucking real, man. My shit's real. That's just what it is. I'm just, there's no other way to you guys can tell. I'm not, I don't have time to put on an act. If I like you, I like you. If I don't, no big deal. It's like, whatever. It's not personal. Even with Gore, I don't hate Gore. I think he's a terrible critic. I don't hate the guy. I mean, we had good times together. And I told you guys what happened with that whole situation with Gore. I've said it before. The whole thing happened when he got on the phone, probably drunk, and was screaming at the phone through me, yelling at me for not coming to his event, screaming. No, guys, let me explain something. Not screaming like screaming like I was his child. And at that point, I hung up the phone and I said, that's the end. You don't let people talk to you like that. I mean, I'm bashing him here on the stream. I'm not calling you personally up. You know, like Omega Swiper, I'm going to call you up and say, Omega Swiper, you son of a bitch, how fuck? You'd be like, excuse me, click. So there's your answer. End of story. You have boundaries. You go, that's it. You crossed it, bro. It's over. Thank you, Tucker. I appreciate that. That no one has the balls I have in this town. No one, not one, not a single one. You know that. You guys know that too. Not even one. No one. Nope. Because they won't stand behind it. They'll wilt. They don't have the power. That's why you do the gym. That's why you do these things, that you have that base to go F off. Are you kidding me? Do you think I'm going to kowtow to you? There's no chance I am. There's a 0% chance I'm ever going to kowtow to one of those film Twitter dweebs. They are dweeby people that do nothing in life, and I will laugh at them as I continue to succeed. And by the way, someone even said in the comments, by the way, just going back to that comment about the really pointed shit that I just use. Oh, well, look, he doesn't even have that many YouTube views. I'm like, how many times have I told you guys this? I didn't start this to care about that. It's about getting on here and talking about movies, being authentic, end of discussion. I don't care. I don't even look at views. I barely even put any effort into this. You can tell. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. All right, let's see what else we have. Did I miss any? Let's go to see if I missed any super chats. You guys are awesome. Honestly, you guys are legit. I appreciate it. Anyone who's here, I mean, I say I don't care. I don't mean that really. I mean, I really appreciate it. But truth be told, I'll be honest with you, even if I had nobody, I would still do the stream and just enjoy doing it, because I think, I read this from Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin said, the joy is in the process. It's not in the result, right? So the joy is, for me, in a weird way, not in a weird way, it's the true way, is me going to the gym and killing it and looking good is not really the end result. The result is there, but the joy that I get from it is actually going and getting almost like therapy. I go in there and destroy it. So I think about nameless, faceless bitch commenting about me in my personal life, and I go, guess what? Boom. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take off my shirt. I'm going to run up and down Sunset, and I'm going to dominate you while you look the other way, because I'm 10 times the man your ass bitch fuck could ever be. That's the truth, and that's what I love. I will always do that, and all you do is make me dominate you harder. So thank you for fueling my journey. It will continue. There's a lot of F-bombs tonight. Oh, let's do a sales check. That's a great, I had this plan and I went off on a huge tangent as always. All right, get ready. Here we go. Sales check. Thank you. So, Mark, this is a loyal viewer, Mark. Thank you so much. It is time, everybody, for the MMT sales check. Let's do the AMC. Okay, hold on. I don't know if I can still get this. The 9 o'clock. There. Oh, shit. Look at this. Let me make myself smaller. There we go. Okay. This is the 9 o'clock Aquaman of the Lost Kingdom. Let's just call it Aquaman 2. I'm never going to call it Lost Kingdom again. This is the 9 o'clock that just went off. This is what my one looked like. This is not even 50% full. It's like about 45% full. This is bad, okay? This is the IMAX at 9. Let's see what else I have here. Dolby 1030 Burbank. This is really dead. That's late though. Let's see if I can find a 9 somewhere. Give me a second. I did IMAX. Let's go to Universal. 930 IMAX, just about ready to go off. That is what is that, about 50% full? That's a huge screen. That's where they had the Oppenheimer 70 millimeter, gigantic. It's a huge screen. It's not terrible. Oh wait, this is the Burbank. Sorry, we just did that. Let's go over to Century City, and we'll roll out and see. Right now, it's not looking good. I don't know if this film even gets to 30 million. I don't think it does. Here's IMAX 915. That is, look how many empty seats. Okay, these are prime seats in here, right? So look, let me zoom in. These seats right here, right? This is like the walkway. Those seats that are right there are prime, and they're totally empty. That's bad. This film's dead. And the other reason this film's dead is, you guys know, it's not going to be part of any continuation with the DCEU, DCU. So why would anyone even give a shit? I mean, I just told you there's no reason to see the film. If you like the first one, maybe. I mean, I didn't like the first one nearly as much as a lot of you, but this one, there's just no reason, because the stakes don't matter. It's all over. And I'm over with, and also I'm done with comic book movies. Rest in peace. It's over, man. It's done. It's over. I mean, yeah, we're going to get Deadpool and we'll get Joker 2, but those aren't traditional. I'm saying the traditional CBM's dead. It's over. No one cares about any, like, Marvel's, whatever they have planned for any kind of sub character. They might as well I'd yank it. I would cancel it. I'd say it's over. We can't, because no one cares anymore. I mean, this is the end. People have been burnt out on this, and we warned them that it was coming, and here it is. And you're getting it with Aquaman, a film that nobody cared about in the first place. But if you think about this, this is how proof, this is not just because it's not connected, right, that people aren't interested. This shows you, this is absolutely the proof that comic movies are dead. It's over. Because look back to Aquaman. Was it 2017, correct? Or was it 18? Either way, 5-6 years ago, okay? Look at that film. Look at how well that did. Opening weekend, I believe, is $100 million. This is going to get to, if it's lucky for 4 days, 40. If it's 30. 30, I'm telling you. 30. So that is 60 plus, 70% down. Minus 70%. It's not just because people don't care about Aquaman. It's because people don't care about CBMs anymore. They're dead. Bury them. It's over. With the exception of Deadpool and Joker, they're dead. And Spider-Man. Those three. So the average comic book movie that's not one of the three I just mentioned, dead. Over. If you're starting a new comic book character, don't even bother. Don't. People are over it. I'm over it. I don't want to see anymore. Start spending money on quality films. Instead of making one $200 million film, make 10, $20 million films and make them all badass. Let me look at the script for you, and I will tell you if it's worth making. That's all I'm going to do. Just please do that for me. Gore bought Erick an Avatar 2 film. Ready for this? On DVD. Oh my God. Maybe. We just need to get shit together here in Hollywood, right? All right, less than 5 minutes. I want to get out of here, maybe even before the hour. I need a few days off, guys. I'm not going to lie. Real quickly I want to mention this, guy didn't get a chance to. The Oscar shortlist today, I looked at it. Really no surprise. There's not even anything of value to talk about there, because Oppenheimer already did not make even the short of the short list for the first list for the visual effects. So of course it didn't make the short list. So it doesn't really, no major thing stands out here today. Barbie had like 3 songs in the running for the short list. They take those 15, some lists are 10, some are 15, and then that's what you use to make your 5. But really nothing stands out. And the truth be told, there's not a lot of great movies this year. I'm not as excited about the Oscars at all, as you can probably tell. We haven't been talking much about it because there aren't that many great films. The best film you can see right now is going to be The Iron Claw. It's easily the best film in theaters. By the way, tonight's kit was Club Leon. I wanted to get a nice green for Christmas. So we'll be back probably Christmas night. That's my guess. It'll give me like a bunch of nights to just like not do anything. I might do I'll do a quick box office thing on Sunday, but that's like short, right? And then we'll probably come back on Monday for Christmas night and maybe talk about the best films of the year or something, because I just don't have much else I want to talk about, and it has been not a great year, man. We'll definitely do a worst of the year too before the first. We'll do a worst of the year, which looks a lot like the first half of the worst year. Remember we did that halfway through the year? A lot of their bad film, the really terrible films were kind of early, although I got to add Poor Things in there for sure. And I got to add, not Aquaman 2. Aquaman 2 is not like, Aquaman 2 is not Poor Things, awful, Beau's Afraid. It's just not inspiring. It's a flaccid cock film. right? I don't want to do this anymore when I want to be fully, you know what I mean, the old hustler rating of the pornos. I want to be fully erect or I don't want to watch the movie. Oh my, I'm not even going to go there with anyone but you. I'm not going to do it. I'll get in trouble. I'm not going to, it's not worth it. Two good things about that movie. That's going to do it for tonight. You guys are amazing. Make sure I didn't miss any. If I didn't get your super chat, oh, by the way, a mega swiper, free super chat next. Just put in $0 next time. I'll get to you. Let me just get one more make because I promised you. That's good. Well, I wait. As long as I'm Oppenheimer and he's Strauss, I mean, right? I kind of am. That might be true. That's why he's drinking 17 Trulies. He misses me. Well, I mean, maybe. All right, guys, you've been amazing. I want to thank all of you for being here, and thank you again for everything, Bruce. Thank you, thank you for being a member. Information Man Show. You're amazing. All of you come in here and do this. I really appreciate it. I want you to have a safe, fun Christmas. Really, get out there and enjoy it. Live life, man. You're here once, and we'll be back probably Christmas night, not Christmas Eve. Let's just keep that sacred, right? Christmas Eve is kind of just like chill, family time, just watching It's a Wonderful Life. In my case, I might watch Last Christmas, a movie that I die over every single year since I go back when I saw that back in, I think, 2019. Last Christmas. Yes, with Emilia Clarke. I love that. It's so bad. It's good. I really love it. Actually, it's a kind of a cool little com. It's a rom-com with a big twist. I like that film. I'll probably watch it on Sunday night, and we'll be back here Monday. Thanks again for being here, everybody. You're amazing. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Peace and love. Merry Christmas from LA. I'm out.